Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of the Minority Advantage. If this is the first time you're watching us, Minority Advantage is basically the place where historically oppressed people come to get a leg up through the inspiring stories of other minorities that have been there and done that. Today I have with me another close friend of mine, Carl Adjaho. How you doing, Carl?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good, man. Thanksgiving. So I'm be recording this on Thanksgiving, guys. While you guys are eating turkey, I got Carl to come and join me before he joins his family and friends for Thanksgiving. So thanks for joining me today.
No problem at all. No problem at all.
Where should we begin? Where should we begin? But before even we begin with that, I want to let you guys know Carl and I have known each other for how many years?
I'll say I got in college in 2012. So I'll say around 2012, 2013. So about 8 years now.
Yes, about 8 years now. We've known each other for 8 years now. Carl is currently a security professional, making about 330,000. And today he's going to tell us his journey. He's going to show us how he got there and how you can get there. So, Carl, if you can tell us how was your upbringing? How was your upbringing like?
My upbringing was solid. I was born in Ghana. I lived most of my life around Mala and Newtown. In Africa, you're raised by a community. So while parents will go to work, I'm mostly with my grandparents and whatnot. And the night they'll come get me from my grandparents' house. I was raised by a community. I came into the States when I was second grade. I'll say second grade. I don't know what age that is, but I remember the first grade I went to was second grade when I came into the States. And when I moved here, I went straight to Chicago. So yeah, that's basically a quick summary, a synopsis of you know my upbringing.
So you went to Chicago, and how long do you live in Chicago?
I was in Chicago for about, I use everything by grades. So I was in Chicago when I was in from second grade all the way up till fifth grade. And I did fifth grade here in Atlanta, Georgia. So we'd say
Hmm.
about 2 years, 2 years, 2.5 years.
Yeah. So between 8 to 11, then
Yeah.
you moved from Chicago to Atlanta. So in Chicago, when you were in Chicago, how was life in Chicago? Who were you with?
When I was in Chicago, I was with my mom. My dad's side was also in Chicago.
Hmm.
So I grew up with, my mom, my aunts, my cousins, my grandparents had also moved from Ghana to the States. So they were also in Chicago with me. So I was still with most of the people that I was around in Ghana anyways. So
Okay, so back in Ghana, you were with your grandparents and your mom as well, right?
yeah,
Oh, okay. And then you guys moved to Atlanta.
Atlanta, yes. I moved to Atlanta in the fifth grade and I've been here since.
Haven't gone anywhere.
I haven't gone anywhere. I almost abandoned Atlanta for another country. But we'll get into that, as my story unfolds.
Okay, that's good. That's good. I would like to know what type of jobs and did you hold throughout your career to this stage or till college?
You could say my working career really started at the age of 16. I remember, I believe it was on my birthday too. Like as soon as I turned 16, my mom dropped me off at our local Ingles. Yeah, my mom dropped me off at our local Ingles. It just happened to be, I believe, my birthday. They were having a job fair, um, so I didn't have to go to school that day. My mom dropped me off at Ingles, and that's when my work career started. I've always been someone who, I don't know, my nickname back home in Ghana has been money lover. So I've always been someone who's always been about my money. Like So most people would say, "Oh man, at 16, why are your parents already put?" But it was something that I probably already wanted to do anyway. I was somebody who understood from an earlier age the importance of money, how money equated to freedom. So I understand. I grasped that concept from an early age. I noticed that people who had money were happier, or were in my mind at a young age. I saw that, and the ability to get what I wanted was also very important to me at a very young age. And I noticed that money helped me get what I want. So at the age of 16, as soon as it was legal for me to have a job, I had a job. I was working I started off as a bag boy at Ingles, and then was able to work my way up to cashier, I think within 8 months, something of that sort. So yeah, I was bagging groceries while in high school at Ingles. So I mean, let me make it quick. So basically, I was in high school. I'd go to school. I'd have the bus driver drop me off at Ingles. I'd go to work. Then I'd walk home at the end of the day. I did that, I think, all the way from 16, which was 10th grade, all the way from 10th grade up to I graduated high school. And then my next job after that, I worked at a pizzeria. I was a dishwasher at a pizzeria and a delivery boy.
So you were both a dishwasher and a delivery boy.
Yes, sir.
Usually it's just one, right?
Huh? Usually, yeah. Usually it can be, yeah. Usually it's just one. Usually they just have somebody in the back or somebody just delivering. But I was doing both, and sometimes even flipping pizzas. So
you were about the money.
I was about the money from an early age. So I did that. I played. I was in college. I don't know. I look back at it. I don't know if I regret it, but I got to miss out on a lot of. I remember vividly, and I still remember to this day. Friends will be going. Thursdays and Fridays, Wednesdays and Thursdays, I believe, are probably the littest times of the week for college. That's when all the parties are happening, because Fridays usually people go home. So I remember, friends having to go to. Friends talking about going to the club or going to parties on Wednesday, Thursdays, and I'd be feeling kind of bad because I knew I couldn't go. I had to go deliver pizzas and wash dishes. So yeah,
So we are in college now. Your story has led us to college now. So tell us about your mindset in college and what you were trying to achieve when you got into college. What was your goal?
In college, like my whole life, I've been really passionate about soccer. I guess that's a step that we skipped over, a story we skipped over. In my mind, I was going to be a professional soccer player. There was nothing that was going to stop me. I was going to do what it needed to take for me to be able to, get to that level and make the money that I needed to make for that freedom. I was going to be a professional soccer player, and nobody was going to tell me otherwise. So in college, I was able to walk on to the Clayton State team. I made the team. I was able to walk on. So while I was playing soccer in college. I was delivering pizzas. Delivering pizzas
was that legal?
When I could. I don't know, but I was doing it. I don't know if it was legal or not, but I had to eat, man. As everybody knows, college scholarship is not going to, it only can take you so far. I'll just put it that way. I had to eat, and there were certain things that I also wanted to, like a car and, be able to get around and things like that. All those things cost money. So I had to do what I needed to do to, get where I had to get.
Yes, and of course, you were very good at the game, and you definitely could have made it professional. With that being said, what do you think happened there?
I don't know, to be honest. I think now, as I look back in it, I don't know if it's the right thing or not, but maybe I just wasn't good enough, because I felt like I exhausted all my options. I don't know what I could have done different. So just looking back at it now, I've been having that talk with myself, lately I've had that, self-reflection with myself, and I just came to the conclusion, maybe I just wasn't good enough. So that's, I sometimes it happens, you gotta pivot. I feel like I did everything that I could. I couldn't think of anything else that I could have done. Trained twice a day for a long time. Anywhere there was a game, I was there, playing as much as I could. I even leading up to, I even left the country. I went to China on a whim, on a half chance, on a whim, something that I wasn't concrete. I just got up and went because I knew, this was what I was going to do. This was the only way I could see feasible. And it's crazy that we call this the minority advantage, because I feel like I'm not the only one that feels that way, especially the younger generation coming up. Most of the successful people that you see are athletes or musicians, especially speaking for people of color. So, I mean, being a doctor seems so far away, it's so far-fetched. Being an engineer, which is in my title right now, seems so far-fetched. Yeah, so I was going to be an athlete. That's what I saw.
Well, coming to that conclusion must have been brutal. I mean, come to the conclusion that maybe I'm just not good enough. Because, I mean, you've always been one of the good players around, right? When we all played.
Uh-huh. Yeah, definitely. It was something, but it was, I look back at my life and I was like, I think I was okay. I was okay with it. It was something that I just had to accept. Especially, I think it was easier because I've done so well for myself. So that helped alleviate the blow as well. But I just came to the maybe it just wasn't maybe I just wasn't good enough, because I sat back and I had that conversation with myself. What do I think I could have done different? And honestly, I couldn't come up with anything. So that's the conclusion I came up to.
Okay, so in college,
Yes.
apart from soccer, apart from playing the game you love, what was your major? What were you doing?
I started off as a nursing major because African, everybody is everybody needs something in the medical field, man. I started off as a nursing major, and then the courses were not necessarily, I didn't care for it. So I guess maybe they were becoming a little bit too hard, a little too tedious for me, especially for someone who doesn't necessarily care for that field. So then I switched to criminal justice, because in my mind, my thought process was, this is not going to matter. I am going to be making millions in a few years anyway, playing soccer. So just give me something where I can, pass classes and be eligible, be able to stay eligible to play this game.
So you thought criminal justice was the perfect way to balance it out.
Yeah, because criminal justice wasn't too difficult for me. I mean, it was something that I had a little bit of interest in, but the salary ranges in that field, definitely didn't make any sense to me. It was something that I could see myself being able to pass exams for without trying too hard. So I went into that. I selected that major, and I was doing pretty well in that. I was doing pretty well in that major, actually.
Okay, so we move on from post-college life.
Yes.
Post-college life. What did you do post-college?
So
how?
Continue.
Yeah, what did you do post-college? How did you get into your field? Did you just walk into the field post-college, or were there any detours, or what brought you to the field?
There were numerous detours. Post-college, so I decided to take a break from school and go to China. I was like, man, this thing taking too long. I need to make some money. So I took a break.
And was that your second, third year?
I believe that was my third year.
Okay.
My third year in school. Mm-hmm. I was like, man, this thing is taking too long. Like, I just off a whim, off of a just a half chance, like I was saying. I heard my father told me that he knew someone, in China, and that could get me in front of one of their teams. So I went there. I went to China. I was in China. I just got my stuff and left. I went to China, and I was able to I was able to train a little bit with their junior team, but they're like their junior team. I don't know how to explain it. Like maybe you could say they're 18s or they're 17s. And I thought I held my own pretty well, but I didn't. I was still waiting for a word, and I felt like they were going round and round and round with me. I remember being over there. They were like, "Yeah, something about in regards to money. They didn't have the money right now, but I can teach English and play at the same time." And I didn't want to do that. I just wanted to play. I just wanted to play soccer. So I don't know. I felt like I was led on. I felt like maybe they knew that there wasn't any money there already. They just wanted a player for free, and then they were going to use me to, the teaching the English for free. I don't know, man. It didn't sit right with me. And although I would have considered it too, but while I was in China, I got really, really sick. I got really, really, really sick in China, and I was in the hospital for a few days. I got really, really sick. I couldn't. I was losing a lot of weight. I couldn't hold anything down. Of course, my mom was over here. I think that was already things weren't going my way, so that was the camel that broke the straws back. I was sick for a while. I'd say about a couple of weeks. Had IVs in me and things of that sort. So it was time. My mom was like, she wasn't having any more of that. So I came back home. I came back home and I had to start all over again.
Okay, so when you came back home,
Mm.
what did you do then? After that's you left college, right? After that.
Yeah, I left college.
Okay, so then what was the journey there?
Okay, I left college now, and then now I needed to make some money. I left. I came back. In my mind, I still felt like, I still had a little bit of hope that I'd still be able to make it because I was still young. I joined a semi-pro team, and on that semi-pro team, our coach, I thank him a lot, man. Our coach, our head coach on that semi-pro team, he was a director at a club, and he told me, I guess he had heard my story, or maybe I don't know how it went, or I heard he was a director, so I asked him, did he have any positions for any coaches? So he was like, yeah, man, come out. I will trial you. So he gave me a trial. I ran a session for one of his teams, and then he hired me. So I started making money that way, coaching. I didn't have. It was decent money. It was okay. I didn't have certifications, so he couldn't pay me as much as I needed to be paid. So I mean, later on, I went and got some certification. So I went and got my E. What was it? F. I got my F first. I got my E, and then I had my D. So that helped boost my salary a little bit. But I started off coaching. When I was coaching, the money was okay, and then I started off what's it called? I was coaching, and then I went back to my delivery job. I was coaching. I was coaching in the nights. I'll be delivering during the days. During the day or whenever I wasn't coaching. And I also started a little thing. I started flipping things on OfferUp, flipping TVs, headphones, whatever I could get my hands on, man. Buy it for cheaper, sell it for more. So that's how I was making my money.
Okay, so currently, what is your role now?
Right now, my role is a security engineer, cybersecurity engineer.
Okay, so how did you end up from a troublesome situation in China, to put it to say the least, to coaching, delivering, flipping stuff to security? How did that work out?
Perfect. It's funny we're having this interview right now because it all comes full circle. It was Thanksgiving 2017, Friendsgiving 2017. Some of our friends got together to have a little Friendsgiving. We'd been out of school for a while, and some people had traveled out of town for work, and it was an opportunity to get everybody together, catch up, see what everybody was doing. So I came 2017 Thanksgiving. I was around my friends. I thought I was doing decent. I was making decent money. I think all together, I was probably bringing in like $3,500 a month. So I was able to pay my rent. I was able to pay my rent. I was able to, I didn't need anybody for anything. So in my head, I was good. Like I was making my $3,500 a month. But I was having conversations with my friends, and most of my friends were computer science majors when we were in school anyway. So they were telling me what they were doing. Some were security professionals, some were Splunk engineers, some were AWS professionals, data professionals. I said, what's going on? What's going on here, man? So, I got curious. I'm like, okay, so what kind of money is in that one, man? So, I was hearing some people were mentioning higher 70K. Some people were mentioning lower six figures. I was like, what's going on, man? I was like, I thought I was doing okay for myself with my little $3,500 a month, and being able to pay my bills and whatnot. So I don't know. That sparked a light in my head. So that I was like, yo, these are people I grew up with. These were guys that I saw every day. If they could do this, I definitely felt like I could do it also. So that's where the journey began to the career field that I'm in right now. I spoke to one of my friends who I believe is going to be on your show also. I spoke to Prince. He was doing security, and he told me, hey, if you're sure this is what you want to do, get this book, Security Plus. Get this Security Plus book, Daryl Gibson, and start using Cybrary, and come over to my house on certain days, maybe once or twice a week, when he's free or not too busy. He said, come over and I'll show you the bases. I'll help kind of guide you in the way. So he told me that, but before then, my friends were like, okay, first thing we need to do, let's get our resume together. Let's get a resume together. So even before I started studying, I was able to get sort of kind of like use the kind of background that I had to sort of tailor it into something IT focused or computer focused. Keep in mind, I'm not a computer guy at all. All my interactions with computers had come from writing papers in school. I guess so you could say I'm a Microsoft Word person or Excel person, sure, but I'm not a computer guy at all. So yeah, we put my resume out, and then I was hyped. I was excited. They took a picture of me right there that same day we were at Benedict's apartment. Took a picture of me. We put it on my LinkedIn. We got my resume, and then I just started applying. Anything and everything IT, not even security, anything and everything IT. I just started applying, and then 2 weeks, I got a call. Actually, I got several calls, but 2 weeks I got a call from this company called Ultimate Software. They had a IT internship open, and they were interested. So I hadn't been studying security for long at all. I put in Ultimate Software called me. I did my interview. I was able to show them, I was a bright person, someone who could pick up things quickly, and someone who wanted it. I actually got 2 offers. I did 2 interviews where I landed. I got 2 offers. One was Ultimate, and one was, I can't remember. It was a smaller company. I believe I went with Ultimate because it was a bigger company, and I just liked the vibes that I was getting from that manager. So that's how my IT career started. I believe. So from Thanksgiving 2017 to December, I think my first day was like the day after Boxing Day at Ultimate. So that December, 1 month later, I was working. It was my first day at Ultimate Software.
Wow, amazing story. Since you mentioned it, I need to shout out the crew,
Yeah.
Friendsgiving.
Yeah.
And tomorrow we're having another Friendsgiving. An amazing crew. So that's a shout out to the crew right there. So it's taken you 3 years to get to that amount of money. Obviously, I wouldn't say this is the normal right. This is not the norm. This is not the norm in the field. Would you say?
no, I wouldn't say it's the norm in the field. I've seen different journeys because right now I've mentored several people to get into the field. So I've seen different route, I've seen different time periods. But that has been my time period. And one thing I forgot, like, while we're shouting out the friends, I need to give credit to everybody. It wasn't just Prince. Benedict also really helped me a lot. Ben would allow me to come to his home at any time of that hour. It didn't matter. He create time for me, whether it be a Zoom call or whatever, to break things down for me. So I'm definitely appreciative to him for that. And also Tunde knows who he is too. Tunde would, man, I have some great guys around me, man. Tunde would any and every time say, "Come over, man." Tunde would coach me in interviews. Tunde would tell me, because Tunde was also a security professional. Tunde would break down tools to me. Just, I don't know, man. I got blessed to be placed around, such great people, man. Such selfless people. I would say that. And even though we will also shout out the host here, Elvis, man. Even though he's not in the field, man. I look at him as like the guru on everything life. Just he simplifies life for you to a certain level where it just, to me anyways, at a certain level where it makes sense. Things that you complicate in your mind, he just breaks down to a level where you're able to maneuver around. So yeah, I definitely think, and there's a whole bunch of friends in this crew of ours, but
Yeah.
these are the main ones. Shout out to Togo too. Just for the shout out, Fredo.
So yeah, you mentioned Prince. We've already had Prince on the show.
Yeah.
If you guys haven't seen it, I'll drop a link. You can go watch Prince's interview. We have Benedict coming up. We have Tunde also coming up. So they'll get a chance to meet everybody. And with what you said, how important is it to have a community around you that is uplifting, that knows the way that can help? Because that's the reason why we're doing this, right? Because again, with the minority advantage, we know that people of color do not usually have that advantage. We do not have that advantage. And if you know somebody, it's a friend of a friend of a friend, doing well, you cannot relate. They are not in your circle. So we're trying to have this so that we can kind of have a community where people can join, hear the stories of others, and be able to motivate themselves to reaching another level. How important do you think that is?
I think that's imperative, man. It's huge. It's huge because there'll be in this 3-year journey to get to where I am right now. There's been times where I've maybe I felt lost, or I felt stagnant. Stagnant is the word. Not necessarily lost, but I felt stagnant. I've been like, what now? What now? And not necessarily felt motivated. And then I'll get around those same group of guys again, and then ideas will be exchanged, and that juice will come back. That light bulb will come back. For different ideas or different things. It wouldn't necessarily even have to be in the security field. Just different entrepreneurial ventures that they're thinking about or that they're into, or different, just different ideas. So I think that is huge, man. Having the right circle around you, or having the right people around you, people that you're not competing with, people that equally want to see you do well, that understand, that grasp the concept of you're stronger in numbers, and you'll go further. You'll go further when you have more. Not necessarily. Yeah, I believe the saying is you'll go further when there is well, I don't know, but just necessarily.
We get it. We get it.
It's really imperative, man, to have the right people around you, people on your team.
Yeah, we're stronger in numbers, right? That helps.
Mm-hmm.
So, what would you say somebody needs to do to get into security? Before we even get that, who is security for? Who is that industry for?
I believe security is for. I don't think security is for any specific person, man. 'Cause like I said, just listening to my background, I was somebody that knew nothing about computers. Like if you have a security is for someone who, can think outside the box. I think the people that I see succeed in that field are people who can, think outside the box, who can speak, who can break down things in layman theory, or break down things to, smaller levels for people who, are not necessarily in the security field. Because in security, you find yourself having to explain yourself to people who don't get what you do. So people who think outside the box, people who are driven, people who are well spoken or can break down things to,
That's a very low bar, right? I mean, of course, let me not say a very low bar, because people who can break down things to people are actually experts. It takes a very good teacher to
Yeah.
be able to break down things for people to understand, especially people who do not understand what you do, right? But when I say a very low bar in terms of technical expertise,
Mm-hmm.
you don't need much.
No, not necessarily. Not to get started. No.
Wow. So what would you say the salary range is for an entry level security?
Entry level security in today's day and age, you shouldn't be making anything less than from 70 to 85. Entry level, I'll say, yeah, entry level 70 to 85.
Okay, so to end this discussion, I have my favorite question coming up. This is the minority advantage steps to your first 70 or 80,000 in your role.
Okay.
If you were doing this again, or you're advising your little brother in just 5 to 10 easy steps that gives him that advantage,
Uh-huh.
what would you say those steps are?
The first steps is exactly what I did. Start studying for the Security Plus. Your goal should be to try to get that Security Plus certification. Leverage Daryl Gibson's book, and also Professor Messer has free videos on YouTube that you can leverage. That breaks down each domain of the exam for you. Daryl Gibson and Professor Messer. Daryl Gibson's book also has great questions on there. Very similar questions to what are on the test. And so does Professor Messer's videos on YouTube. So Daryl Gibson, Professor Messer, I would say would be the first steps. Get that while you're studying for that cert, or while you've told yourself you want to be in that field, surround yourself with people who are in that field, or people who have the skill set that you're trying to acquire. Make sure you surround yourself with that people so you can get yourself in that mind frame of security. Where when security is all that's being discussed in your circle, by osmosis, you will the information will go into you. You'll start to get into that mindset. So surround yourself with people who are in that field that you want to be in. And while you're in that circle, my suggestion would be get that resume ready, and let those people that your newly formed circle, let them help you get that resume ready, because they know what hiring managers are looking for. They know what a cyber resume should look like, or an IT resume should look like. So let those people in your circle help you get your, tailor your resume to the job that you want to get.
Okay, so before you move to number two,
Mhm.
the first one you talked about leverage Daryl Gibson and Professor Messer's resources.
Yeah.
You mentioned Professor Messer's resources are on YouTube. His videos are on YouTube. And with Daryl Gibson, what book is that?
It's a Security Plus book. I believe they've gone to 601 now. When I was studying, it was 501. So Daryl Gibson 601. You can find it on Amazon. That book is there.
Okay.
It's not I believe it's around $30-something, $39.99 or something to that effect.
So number two,
Number two, your circle.
your circle, you mentioned that. Sorry. So you mentioned number one, the resources. Number two, your circle. Number three.
Your circle should help you get your resume together. Number three is your resume.
Your resume.
Yes.
So that is even before you're done, you should have that resume. Then you should leverage your circle, to be able to come up with a very good resume.
Yes, because your circle know what hiring managers are looking for. They know what a cyber resume looks like, what an IT resume looks like. They will be able to, because you're new in the field. You don't know. There's certain terminologies that hiring managers are looking for. There's certain thought processes or way of seeing things that hiring managers are looking for that can help you know that can help boost your resume. I believe your circle can help bring that out for you.
Okay, so number 4.
Number 4, start applying. Even while you're studying for this Security Plus, because remember my story. I was 2 weeks into studying before I started doing I started doing interviews. Some for security. I didn't land a security position, but I was able to land an IT position, IT internship. So start applying, start applying. Because when you get in that field, I feel like the way I am or the way I'm built, I learn more when it's hands on. So I probably learn more, not in necessarily theory, but not the theory aspect what I'll get from the book, but the practical aspect while I was on the job. So you will learn, you will get more hands-on skills while you're on the job. So I believe it's imperative that you try to get in the field as soon as possible. So start applying with the little knowledge that you've gained in your time of studying. Maybe give yourself a month, go hard, or 2 months, go really hard. Start applying. You have nothing to lose. The least they could say is no. So start applying. And be aggressive in your applying. That is what I would say is the next step.
Is there another step or that's it?
When that's it to get in the field. Now, when you get there, learn.
Wow. So those are the 5 easy minority advantage steps to get anybody started in security. I hope you guys enjoyed this interview. Subscribe. I forgot to say that in the beginning. I need to get used to saying this. Subscribe. Thank you very much, Carl, for joining us today, taking time out of your busy Thanksgiving day to give us some information and dropping some knowledge on us. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your day.
No problem. Thank you, everyone.